It's the writing of Sudip Sharma and the incredible presence of Jaideep. He's a gentle giant. He's so huge,
Gentle giant.
you know, but he's so gentle, and one feels so safe with him. You feel for the consequences of the actions that people take. It's not just because it's film, you know, that you can just do anything. First film that I ever did. It changed my world, right? It was Monsoon Wedding.
Monsoon Wedding, right.
Many years after that, the next thing that changed my world was Anup Singh's film Kissa. Well, I think the biggest change is that I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because being an actor is a life of, you know, the unexpected. The roles that I'm getting to play in my 40s are, you know, are women who are complex, they're nuanced.
So, Tillotama, welcome to Movified.
Thank you.
And we are so grateful that finally we are here to talk with you. And what a performance in Pataal Lok season 2. मेघना बरुआ, मतलब मुझे तो पहले ये आपको ये बताना है that जब मैंने ये सीजन देखा, जब आपकी एंट्री होती है and everything so powerful on screen, you are there throughout and we all are hooked. So मुझे पहला सवाल आप ये बताओ कि मतलब इसके बाद जो सबसे बेस्ट वाले मैसेजेस आए ना, वो आपको किसके आए हैं और क्या क्या आए हैं?
काफ़ी आए हैं. This has really been unprecedented. How much people love Pataal Lok season 1. That entire, you know, it's such a loved show. So the anticipation for season 2, and for me it's a new one. You know, it's my entry into this world. So I feel very grateful that people accepted, you know, accepted it so well.
Right.
And I got many really lovely messages about the accent being right, etc. From Assamese, you know, audience members and friends, and you know. But I think one of the messages was from someone who is not sighted, and so she can't see. But she said that she thought I was a good actor because she heard the whole show, and from, you know, and that's what her message said, that even though she couldn't see,
Right.
what she heard was so powerful that she sent me a message saying how moved she was, and yeah.
So जब ये season 2 आपके पास offer हुई थी, what was your first reaction? And when you saw the first season, तो obviously एक होता है ना कि like the first season was such a big hit and it was amazing again. So what was your first reaction जब आपको पाताल लोक season 2 offer हुई थी?
I was so ecstatic. I was so ecstatic that, you know, that I got this chance to be a part of a world that I have long admired and been a fan of. So to get a chance to be a part of that world was really, really exciting. And then for some production related issues which I was not aware of, from when I got the call to when preparation started and the direction team got in touch with me, there was a long gap. So उस दौरान I started thinking कि शायद उन्होंने मुझे रोल से निकाल दिया होगा या शायद ये नहीं हो रहा मेरे लिए. And I remember messaging Sudip कि अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो बता दीजिए, because I can't take this not knowing. And so he wrote back saying, no, you're very much our priority. It's just that certain reasons it's getting pushed, the start of the show, the shoot. But yeah. So.
You know, being a Bengali, and like you mentioned about the language, using the language and correct tone and everything, वो एक बहुत बड़ी responsibility होती है for any actor, right? So what was your biggest challenge for this particular Meghna's character?
So Meghna Barua, as her name indicates, she's Assamese, and she moves to Nagaland, gets married to a Naga man there, and she works there. So she had to pick up Nagamese, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was preparing for the part, how life is so beautiful in its randomness, I had actually started preparing for a film by Reema Das, an Assamese film, which never happened. The shooting never happened. But Reema had given me a wonderful teacher who was teaching me Assamese. So I'd learnt Assamese, and then uska kuch hua nahi. And then time passed and I get a call to play an Assamese character, and I don't speak much Assamese in the show at all, just like 1-2 words. when I'm speaking to my nanny, or but because I had learned Assamese, it became easy for me in this show. I just had to focus on learning the Nagamese lines, and I made sure that my English and Hindi that I spoke in the show had a sense of being someone from Assam.
And how, what was the timeline between that film and this project?
Now I'm forgetting, but at least a few years apart.
Okay, and like still you had.
Yes, I think there's a muscle memory, There's our body remembers, even though our mind feels it might have forgotten.
Right.
But you remember these things. I think it's like, it's sound. And I think sound and what we hear and what we say, our mind consciously may forget it, but our body remembers.
Correct.
Thank God.
Yeah, मतलब इतने सालों के बाद आपको ये character आया, and also talking about like जो आपका वो जो end का scene होता है, that death scene, I was not expecting, to be very honest. Like in my mind as an audience when I was watching it, मेरे लिए ये था कि okay, she is also the hero of the series, and ये तो मतलब वो होता है ना, एक जब आप एज एन ऑडियंस देखते हो कि ये मतलब हीरो है तो ये तो अभी ख़त्म ही होना। आई वॉज नॉट, बट जब वो शॉट आया मैंने वापस से उसको रिवाइंड किया एंड मैंने वो शॉट देखा, तो इसको लेकर किसी ने आपको बोला कि लाइक सडनली दैट शॉट comes
as in like the directors,
no,
how
no,
we shot
in
the
terms
scene?
of like people after watching, no one was expecting that
Yes.
thing. As an audience I am talking about.
No, isn't it good then that no one was
Yeah.
expecting it?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at it, I mean, the police force, the people who are working in the police force often put themselves in danger to protect the rest of us. So we don't expect it because it's a film. But in reality, what a police officer does at the cost of leaving their family behind. When we celebrate Christmas and Diwali and other festivals together with our family, they often have to go and do their duty.
Correct.
So I think it makes sense. No, it is the world of Sudip's writing that I think is so rigorous and so exacting that you really feel for her. You feel for Nemo, the little kid, what will happen to him. You feel for the consequences of the actions that people take. It's not just because it's film, that you can just do anything and get away with it. There are consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
And talking about Hathiram Chaudhary, what according to Meghna, or let's say what according to Tillotama, what do you think, like why he is one of the most loved characters of Indian series, if I talk about?
It's the writing of Sudip Sharma and the incredible presence of Jaideep Ahlawat. It's the combination of these two. And we've been doing so many interviews, and Jaideep says something which is so beautiful. He said that Sudip Sharma के कलम के लिए वो एक साधारण एक्टर से असाधारण बन गए. And it's really true what he's saying, the writing and the direction that Avinash, Arun has done, and the HODs of each department of this project are awe-inspiring. So when you have a team like that, that comes together, you can watch any of those HODs for hours and not get bored, because of the level of craft, their command over what they do. So when such a team comes together, you have a character that's unforgettable. And Jaideep's performance, like I have read the script, I acted with him in the show, and yet when I watched it, I mean, it's just astounding, astounding. And every other character, even all the actors from Nagaland,
Correct.
Mirenla, Elsie, Bendang, you know, just so, so powerful.
Even Prashant.
You know, Prashant, and even like, you know, I mean, everybody in the show, from Nikita's, you know, presence, so powerful. Gul, like, again, it's uniformly of a certain standard because Sudip's writing has taken us all. Already our starting point is so high because of the writing.
Correct.
And then the direction of Avinash, then all the work of all the HODs. So you just then keep elevating it, you know.
You know, when you work with such a huge cast and the unit and all, so if I talk about particularly about Jaideep, so one thing which you think you have learned from him as a person, anything?
Yeah, I think I keep saying this. I think one of the most wonderful things about Jaideep is his absolute sense of ease in silence, you know. So he's someone with whom one can sit in silence and not get bored, you know. He's a gentle giant. He's so huge,
Gentle giant.
you know, but he's so gentle, and one feels so safe with him, which I think is a rare quality in someone, especially whose appearance is, you know, so larger than life. And I think it's something that immediately one feels a sense of kinship with, you know, and really brings out the best in you as a result, because you feel comfortable, you feel safe, you feel excited, and then you can actually do the work, you know.
And you being an actor since so long, if I ask you about आपके ऐसे 3 characters जो आपके दिल के बहुत ज़्यादा करीब हैं, वो कौन से हैं?
Many are. I've been so lucky that it's like asking you to choose between your children. Which one is the, you
But
know,
still
the best?
एक वो होता है ना that
I think they all came at a different time. Like if I think of it in that sense, I really can't choose, because if I think the first film that I ever did, it changed my world, right? It was Monsoon Wedding.
Monsoon Wedding, right.
Many years after that, the next thing that changed my world was Anup Singh's film Kissa, where I got to work with Irfan and Rasika, and that playing a Sardar, playing a man, you know, a woman raised as a man in that film. I mean, what I learned in that film gave me the tools to work in all the other films that came after that, you know. So that was a huge, huge turning point for me in terms of understanding my craft, understanding, you know, what I could do with my body, my voice. And then in recent times, so I got so many, like whether it's Last Stories or Tribhuvan Mishra
Last
or Night
Stories.
Manager, you know, I can't choose. I can't choose, because each of them, each of these women was so powerful and so layered, you know. I absolutely can't choose between, they're all gifts that are very, very precious to me. Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. But any like जब आप ऐसे when you are at home or when you think about your characters, any of the characters आपको ऐसे लगता है या लगा कभी कि यार मैं इस वाले में ना थोड़ा better शायद मेरा ये हो सकता था, मैं कर सकती
But that's
As
with
a-
everything. When you
everything.
you see any of your work, and then as time passes, when you see it, either you feel like, I could have done this better, oh, I could have done this better, or you look at it and be like, oh my God, I was so young when, you know, there's an innocence to it. You know, where I didn't know anything about acting anyway at that time. I was still figuring out. So there's a certain innocence and charm to that, you know. And but yeah, as time passes, you grow and you change. So when you look back at your work, there are things you would do differently, of course, because we are changing. We are not static.
And when you look back at like start of your career, how life has changed for Tillotama?
Well, I think the biggest change is that I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable, because being an actor is a life of, you know, the unexpected. You don't know, you know, you're freelancers. It's not a job. you know, that whatever you do, you will still get like a salary, or it's you know, you work hard on the project that you get, and if that the audience connects with, then you get more. And each opportunity is a precious opportunity, and the change I do feel is that I am getting more work than when I started off. At that time I would get maybe one project in 3 years, and so I think that, yes, that change is there. But the largest, I think the greatest change is in the social circle that I have now, the network of friends that I have, and colleagues, who are extremely helpful, and my friends and family who provide a powerful safety net, friends who are critical, so that you're not in a bubble. At least try not being in a bubble, in an echo chamber of, and so I think having that, these are the changes I feel from when I started. Now if I have questions, I know who I can ask. If I have doubts, if I need advice, if I want feedback on a performance, what I could have done better, there are people I can reach out to.
So who is that one go-to person from
the
industry?
There are many.
Many?
There are many. There are many. In fact, we have a girls group called Firgun, in which there's some 13 of us, A lot of us are actors in that, a lot of us are not actors in that, It's not just about acting, so yeah, I mean, my life in Bombay, I wouldn't exist without these friends who are honest, who have the, who care enough to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So like one question if I ask related to the portraying of women in the films over the years and all, so what are your thoughts, how do you see that entire thing? And like
we have been talking about portrayal of women since I started, right? इतना हम सवाल इसलिए पूछ रहे हैं because it is still not fair, right? मैं 20 साल 25 साल से यही सवाल आंसर करने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ. The fact that you still are asking me,
right,
it is because you want more. We have just started. The roles that I'm getting to play in my 40s are, are women who are complex, they're nuanced, but one needs to do many more of these kinds of representation of women that are dynamic and nuanced, for it to feel like a level playing field. We have started. That's it. Which is good, better than not starting. Yeah.
But still, like, people talk about it.
Yeah, because we are going to talk about it because you see, in an evolutionary sense, women, it's only in the few decades ago that women had right to education, right to vote, started working, so as our sense of self went beyond the home, but in the workplace, we want more, and we are all asking this question because we want more, because we feel that it's not enough to know that we are equal. We have to demand equal opportunities as well,
Sure.
So I think that's where the space from where this question keeps coming, and it just only pushes you to do more parts which show different kinds of women that are not stereotypes, or women that are not imaginations of the male gaze,
True. And also आपकी ये जो टी स्टोरी है इसके बारे में मतलब ऑन सेट्स so what is like मतलब you are amazing tea maker.
No, not at all.
What is that,
all.
this entire story? Tell me about this.
There's no story here.
Yeah.
And it is just, Nagaland is a cold place. We were shooting in winter, And one day after shoot, I came home and I made some tea for myself. And it is it's just पानी में दालचीनी और केसर
अच्छा
के कुछ धागे और दालचीनी को उबाल के बस बंद कर दीजिए. And so I made, and there was I made a little extra. So I sent a message to a few people in the crew and cast that if you're free, please come over for a cup of tea. And then that just became a ritual. So every day for the rest of the shoot, people came to my room after, and it was just for an hour or and a half, because everybody had to get up, the next morning.
Right.
And I've never done this before. It's just something that happened, and also it was. I'm very glad it happened, because I was so happy to be on that set. I was given so much love on that set, and I am so fond of that team, and that it was a pleasure to get some time to know them, and I was happy to make that tea every day, because it was a joy to work with a team like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And no milk, just
No
the
milk.
ingredients you
No milk.
mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, no milk. ठीक है, this is now
No
a
milk
quick-
and no sugar also, because दालचीनी, जैसे आप
थोड़ा
दालचीनी में
मिठास,
चीनी है ही,
हाँ.
मिठास मतलब उबाल के पीजिए, आपको लगेगा ही नहीं कि उसमें चीनी नहीं है.
I'm going to try this.
Please
You all
do.
should do.
Please do.
Okay. So thank you so much. It was so
Thank you.
lovely chatting with you.
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.